Welcome back to WION World is One. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Heen Kaur Suro, and here's what we've lined up for you on Speed News today. Israeli military acknowledged its complete failure to prevent Hamas's deadly assault on the 7th of October 2023. The internal investigation revealed that the military had underestimated Hamas's capabilities for years, leading to an overconfident and miscalculated approach ahead of the attack. Following the probe report's release, Israel's military chief General Herzi Halevi accepted responsibility. Halevi had already resigned last month, citing his failure to stop the attack. US President Donald Trump met with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at the White House to convince him that lasting peace in Ukraine can only be ensured if leaders from both Kyiv and the EU are part of the negotiations moving forward with Moscow. Donald Trump took a softer tone on Ukraine truce talks as he hosted the Prime Minister, but reportedly refused to give any confirmation or commitments on security guarantees that Europe has been seeking. Trump said that there had been a lot of progress towards a deal to end the conflict in Ukraine and that negotiations are at a crucial stage. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in the United States to meet with US President Donald Trump on a critical mineral deal. Earlier in the day, Trump said that he would meet with Zelensky at 11 a.m. local time on Friday. The two leaders are expected to discuss agreements on mineral and rare earth development, according to the text that was released by Ukrainian media. The agreement on establishing a reconstruction investment fund between Ukraine and the US consists of 11 points. According to US officials, the mineral agreement that Trump plans to sign with Zelensky does not include any future US commitment to supporting Ukraine. French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu has said that France is in talks with Ukraine on the access to Ukraine's essential mineral resources that can be used to make weapons for the French defense industry. He said that unlike the US, France is not seeking a return for its military support to Ukraine. The French minister said that the French defense industry needs access to a number of very critical raw materials for the next 30 or 40 years. However, he did not specify which minerals France wants from Ukraine. North Korea says it test-fired strategic cruise missiles to demonstrate its nuclear counter-attack capability. The launch, overseen by Kim Jong-un, was the country's fourth missile launch this year. According to state media, the missiles were launched off the west coast to inform enemies of North Korea's counter-attack capability and nuclear readiness. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff said it detected and tracked the launches, adding it remains ready to repel any potential provocation. The launch comes after North Korea vowed to respond to what it called escalating US-led hostilities. Over 7,000 people, mostly from Southeast Asia, are currently being held in a Myanmar border town, awaiting repatriation after being rescued from online scam centers. The spokesperson of the Border Guard Forces of Myanmar said initially the countries of the scam center workers were making repatriation efforts but have now been stalled. The scam centers located in Myanmar, Cambodia and Laos lured people into committing scams through false romances, investment pitches and illegal gambling schemes. Many of the scam center workers were trafficked through Mae Sot, now a center of mass repatriation efforts. In a first since 2015, Thailand has deported at least 40 Uyghurs to China despite warnings from rights groups that they could face possible torture and even death. The group was flown back to China's Xinjiang region after being held for 10 years in a detention center in Bangkok. These Uyghurs were part of a group of 300 who fled China and were arrested in 2014. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk called it a clear violation of international human rights laws and standards. China has been accused of committing human rights abuses against Uyghurs and other minority groups in Xinjiang, including forced labor, mass detention and cultural suppression. The deportation has sparked concerns about Thailand's commitment to protecting human rights and its relationship with China. An earthquake with a magnitude of 5.5 struck Nepal early on Friday, with tremors being felt across the Himalayan region. The earthquake struck around Bhairabkunda in Nepal at around 2:35 a.m. According to reports, tremors were also felt in the Indian state of Bihar. No damage or casualties have been reported so far. Mexico extradited 29 notorious drug lords, including Rafael Caro Quintero, to the United States in a bid to avoid sweeping tariffs. Quintero, a cartel kingpin, has been wanted for decades for ordering the kidnap, torture, and killing of DEA Special Agent Enrique Kiki Camarena in 1980s. Quintero was on the FBI's list of 10 most wanted fugitives until his capture in 2022. If convicted, him and several others could face the death penalty, with prosecutors also considering terrorism charges. Trump has designated 8 Latin American drug trafficking organizations, including 6 Mexican cartels and terrorist organizations. The jailed leader of Turkey's outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, PKK, Abdullah Öcalan, has made a historic call for the group to lay down arms, dissolve itself, and end its decades-long fight with the Turkish state. Öcalan's declaration was drawn up with his cell on Imrali Prison Island, where he has been held in solitary confinement since 1999. His words were read out by a delegation of lawmakers from the pro-Kurdish DEM party who visited him early on Thursday. The call came 4 months after Ankara offered an olive branch to the 75-year-old who founded the PKK. Two powerful explosions rocked Bukavu city in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, killing at least 11 people and injuring over 60 others. The blasts occurred moments after a meeting of the M23 armed group, attended by leader Corneille Nangaa, at Independence Square in the city centre. Witnesses described the chaos, saying the first explosion caused widespread panic, with people fleeing the area before a second blast shook the ground. The explosions were followed by gunfire, adding to the chaos. President Felix Tshisekedi condemned the attack as a heinous terrorist act. The Bukavu Provincial General Hospital confirmed receiving 11 bodies and treating numerous injured victims. Police in Maharashtra's Pune district have arrested Dattatreya Gade, the 36-year-old accused of raping a 26-year-old woman inside a state transport bus at Swargate bus depot. According to the police, Gade, a history sheeter, was nabbed by a team of Pune crime branch from a village in Shirur Tehsil. He has a prior record, having been released on bail in 2019 robbery case, and was recently summoned in a 2024 theft case as well. Following the incident, State Transport Minister Pratap Sarnaik ordered an immediate security audit of all bus stands and depots across the state. The minister also instructed the removal of all registered buses parked at bus stations and depots, as well as vehicles seized by transport officers by the 15th of April. Additionally, he emphasized the need to increase the number of female security guards at bus stations. US jobless claims saw their biggest jump in 5 months, rising by 22,000 to 242,000 last week. Economists attribute the spike to winter storms and volatility from the President's Day holiday. However, mass layoffs of federal workers and contractors, driven by Trump's cost-cutting measures, could further impact claim in the coming weeks. Analysts estimate up to 750,000 job losses, marking one of the largest layoffs in US history. Despite this, the broader labor market remains steady, with historically low layoffs keeping the Fed's rate policy unchanged. Meanwhile, inflation concerns persist, with core PCE inflation revised up to 2.7%, adding pressure on the economic outlook. Bitcoin tumbled over 5% to a 3.5-month low, trading below $80,000 for the first time since November. Investor sentiment is secured due to uncertainty over Trump's crypto policy, fears of upcoming US tariffs, and a broader sell-off in tech stocks. Adding to the pressure, a $1.5 billion Ether hack at Bybit, one of the world's largest exchanges, has rattled confidence. Ether also dropped nearly 6%, hitting its lowest since January, with the Fed signaling only one rate cut and global economic concerns rising. Crypto markets face mounting headwinds, making a swift recovery uncertain. China's AI startups are rushing to secure fresh funding, riding the wave of excitement sparked by DeepSeek's breakthrough and President Xi's support for private enterprises. Companies are attracting investors eager to tap into China's AI momentum. Venture capital interest is rebounding after years of decline, with firms betting on AI, chips, and advanced robotics. However, stringent IPO regulations and US-China tensions still cloud long-term exits. While optimism is rising, concerns remain over whether regulators will ease restrictions on public listings, crucial for sustained investment growth. Oil prices edge lower, heading for the first monthly decline in 3 months as concerns over US tariffs, slowing economic growth, and potential OPEC supply hikes outweighed supply risks. Investor sentiment remains cautious as Trump's planned 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada, plus new China duties, fuel uncertainty. Meanwhile, US jobless claims rose, signaling a cooling economy, despite a brief 2% rebound after Trump revoked Chevron's Venezuela license. OPEC remains undecided on April production plans amid shifting global supply dynamics. Pakistan's dismal campaign at the Champions Trophy has drawn the attention of the country's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who will take up the matter at the parliamentary level. Pakistan's dead rubber against Bangladesh at the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium was completely washed out. The defending champions' campaign ended within a span of less than a week. Mohammad Rizwan's side and Bangladesh were well beaten by both New Zealand and India. The Champions Trophy 2025 was the first major ICC tournament organized in Pakistan after they co-hosted the 1996 ODI World Cup with India and Sri Lanka. Shakira fever has taken over Bogota. Thousands of fans packed the stadium to to witness Colombia's biggest pop icon back in action. The concert marked first of the two highly anticipated shows in her homeland as part of her Women Don't Cry Anymore world tour. Her first in 7 years, Shakira's return comes after a brief health scare that forced her to cancel a show in Peru 2 weeks ago. Now with her tour back on track after successful performances in Brazil, fans couldn't be more excited to see their superstar light up the stage. A concert film of British rock group Pink Floyd performing in Pompeii will be released in cinemas and IMAX on the 24th of April. An accompanying album will also provide a full-length live record of the performance for the very first time. The concert was filmed in October 1971 without an audience in the ancient ruins of Pompeii's Roman amphitheatre. Among the songs performed by the group were Echoes and One of These Days. The film, entitled Pink Floyd at Pompeii, has been restored to 4K quality from the original negatives discovered within Pink Floyd's archives. All 5 members of the beloved British boy band Five are set to reunite for the first time in a quarter of a century. Formed back in 1997 and dominating the charts throughout that period and around the millennium, the pop group was UK's answer to the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Although the London-formed group has reformed every now and again, this is the first time that the original lineup is coming together after 25 whole years. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.